with you so much more information. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I am JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer at JB Bryan Financial Group, and I'm doing a webinar on AfroEconomics, back to the fundamentals, back to the basics, where it all started. Because, there's so many financial discussions about all this elaborate financial stuff. And when I have discussions with the members of AfroEconomics, it's always getting back to our fundamentals that helps us, build a better financial house. So I'm going to share with you something that I've never shared before during our session, the actual AfroEconomics Legacy Edition, the workbook. So I hope that this will definitely help. Please feel free to put in, I'm gonna make sure I open up the chats to the best of my ability so that you have, it's gonna be, I'm not sure I'm going to do that to keep up with you, but I'll make sure, I promise you, I'll check in with those of you on Facebook before I stop the discussion. But I want to open up my chat that's in the webinar to make sure. So okay, my chat is open now, and going to put in there, hello, my friends. Make sure you all know that you can type. You can definitely communicate with me as much as possible. So let's look at, and I'm recording this, so I will definitely share this again. So let's look at the workbook. And this is the workbook that on April 22nd, when I do the live workshop in Washington, D.C., it is absolutely, I'm going to share the workbook with you free. And the workshop is free. So make sure you mark on your calendar next Saturday if you're in the D.C. area, and the next Saturday if you're in Virginia. And I'm going to soon bring this everywhere, because I have quite a few. My friend Andrew, that's in California, that has a lot that he's doing for Black businesses in California, is encouraging me to continue with the webinars. So I promise you I will. But most importantly, if I don't get to your area live, take advantage of the extensive video library that I have available. So I'm going to move forward, and our discussion is about the basics. What should we make sure that we have as a solid structure for your financial house? So when you get into the workbook, it will start with the, so I can dot. Look at this, I'm all excited. I think I'll be able to make a dot. So we'll start with legacy, discovering why you do what you do. I talk about it all the time, but look at it right there. And look at the symbol, the Sankofa symbol. Go back and get it. That we need to understand why we work every day, why we want our children to have a better life than we have. Why is it important to get your beneficiaries up to date and set up to date? Why is it vital for you to do that? I'm gonna turn on my ceiling fan. It's kind of warm. And then why? So in the workbook, there'll be, when you go into section 1, and I'm gonna try to do it with those, that circle's gonna stay there. So I'm gonna erase all my beautiful work there and go down into the first section of legacy. I have to get out of the dots. Don't you love it? So there's lots of notes in the workbook because I want you to write in it. It's lovely. I thank God for that, but it is for writing. So principle 1, your legacy, discovering your why. It's not about me and what I think should be important to you. It's about what is important to you. So in my opinion, and this is, as I write here, knowing the answer to why I'm doing this is more important than knowing how you're going to do it, because I can help you find out how you're going to do it. That's where the professional comes in. But why is something very personal to you. Your legacy is about more than just the accumulation of money and leaving assets behind, even though it's very important. The legacy is built on understanding the impact of what we do every day and how it affects generations to come. So we want to, and from a fundamentals perspective, the first is just understanding why we do what we do and understanding our history, even looking and even though it might be hard, but just take a look at what has happened to your family in the past and how did it impact you and your family currently. What are some decisions that you've seen people before you make that if they had made different decisions, how different their life would be for them and their children now. So those are the type of lessons that we need to learn. That's why I started AfroEconomics with first legacy and understanding your legacy and understanding why it is important to keep yourself motivated through more than just money, but that you want things to be better for people after you. I understand that as an entrepreneur, that if you can have a second generation business, that second generation business has a much better chance at success than a first generation business. And so I've been in business over 20 years. How I pass it on, how I develop a succession plan makes a huge difference in the accumulation of wealth in our community. And so a second point in the fundamentals is self-reliance and financial independence. Understanding why it's important to be financially independent and how we're going to make it happen. Correct? Why do you save into your work plan? And why is it important to make sure that you're saving a percentage of your income every paycheck, that you have to make a commitment to doing that, and understanding why that is so important. I'm gonna take a second here to make sure that everything's going on okay in Facebook and how are you all doing? Hi, Stacy. So glad that you're so willing to share. Oh, thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Joseph Cousins. Thank you, Donnell Tice. Thank you, Shauna Ganaway. Thank you so much. Boy, you have grown up. Look at that. It's amazing to see clients, children become, successful in their own right. It's a beautiful thing. So thank you, CJ Jude. And make sure that I'm going to post this on the YouTube channel and it'll be right here on Facebook for you. But go to AfroEconomics.com so that you can get a personal invite to everybody for the webinar. And you can even watch that on your telephone through our phone app, through everything. So, make sure that you take the time out to go to AfroEconomics.com and get involved there. So the challenge now, look, is I'm going to go back to my video screen. Okay, God is good. So the third principle of AfroEconomics is organization and planning. Now, how are we going to do? Let's look at the organization and planning section. I'm going down, and remember, we've looked at developing your legacy, and a big part of that could be making sure that we have the correct legal documents impact. Why do you have your current financial priorities, right? And the book is full of just questions for you to fill out, and the ebook is fillable. And the second principle, self-reliance. Why is independent thinking important? What does self-reliance mean to you? Think about it right now while you're taking this time out. What would you choose, freedom or comfort? Now, to me, freedom is comfortable, but to a lot of people, it's not. There's also a budget in here, so you can fill this out, print this out if you get the ebook format, and come to the workshop, you'll get it. for free. So you'll see the income section, and look, there's not just one line for income. Your income can have from many different sources, and that is what I work on doing as an investment advisor, while you're working and even after, helping you maximize your income sources, and setting up tax strategies so you can keep more of that money in your pocket, right? Looking at your expenses. Whoa, look at how many more expenses you have than income sources, right? And then, so being careful with your budgeting. So the third principle, as I was discussing, the organization and planning. So the setting your financial goals will allow you to establish priorities for your financial life. Everything is achievable when you're organized, and that's straight out of the book. So take the time to complete the financial planning questionnaire. So we need, you'll have, how do you calculate your net worth? And we'll talk about that in the workshop, and that's basically looking at your assets minus your liabilities. List your 5 top financial goals. Do it now. Do it now. Take a second right now and list your 5 top financial goals. And then go into listing your income producing assets. Like what assets, what do you have that actually could generate income for you? It is possible that your car could be your biggest asset and it could generate income for you. Like say you had a limousine company, or you're a truck driver, or you are, but it is possible that a vehicle could be a source. It could be Uber driver. So do your assets generate income for you? Your residential property could be a major asset, but it might not be presenting or producing any income for you. And we don't think about that. We need to be more careful on, making sure that the assets that we acquire, that we accumulate these huge debts to get the assets, but are they, or even, could they even possibly create income for you? And how could they do that? And then, so that's what you're doing while you're working. When we're investing and purchasing things with our money, it should be to think that, is this purchase to create income? Is this purchase an investment? Or is this purchase just a material item that is going to depreciate quickly for you? So also the third question is, what do you want to accomplish with your personal financial goals, and how will that help you? Explaining the reasons why it's important to pay your bills on time. Look, we know this, we're getting into it. And I love talking about taxes. Number 6, are your tax documents organized? Do you have a tax planning strategy? And, that's, what I focus on doing, as we're selecting investments, and make sure y'all in the webinar, if you have any questions for me, make sure you put that in there. So do you have someone that's assisting you with not just tax preparation and doing your tax returns, but developing a relationship with a financial advisor that actually can help you set a tax strategy and get a better understanding of the taxation on the different investments that you have or that you're considering. So so how long do you keep your statements? And there's just some informational pieces in there under organization, and some retirement mistakes that we make, 5 savings secrets. Wow, there's so much. You got to come to the workshop and get this, or go into the bookstore and get the workbook or the book. But so then AfroEconomics principle number 4 is what webinars are about, is increasing our knowledge, increasing our understanding, increasing your curiosity. I remember when my daughter was learning to read, and their question was for them to read and to answer the question, I wonder why, or I wonder, and they had to read and create a thought of, I wonder. So this is what my workshop should do, is just create a I wonder, or I wonder if my 401k is invested correctly. I wonder if I could set up a retirement plan for my business and that will help me. I wonder if I have my life insurance documents in order. I wonder if I have enough life insurance. So the webinars are designed to create your I wonder, to increase your curiosity. You don't have to have all these things in place, but it's about understanding that AfroEconomics is designed to help you, wonder more, to help you want to increase your knowledge. A young lady came in to see me, and she has been saving, and she's got quite a bit of an emergency fund accumulated for her. And she started talking to some other people, and they started making, we're talking to her about options and all these unnecessary, to me as an investment advisor, they were unnecessary for someone who was carrying credit card debt, had some taxes to take care of, and didn't have a retirement account that was fully being participated in. So, that thank God that her aunt, told her about me. So it created some wondering, and that's what happens a lot. We need to talk to other people. If you have a family member that is doing well financially, at least to you, it looks like it. Because a lot of times, from an AfroEconomics perspective, we don't really know what wealth looks like, because, wealth in its truest sense is not really the things that you see. And then on TV, they show us all these cars and houses and stuff like that. But it's so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than that. So the looking at knowledge, like, can you list at least 3 sources of income? Do you have any assets that create income? Do you want to gain an understanding of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and other investment options? Then the webinars give me an opportunity to do sessions just for members of AfroEconomics, so that I can talk to the members about the AfroEconomics aggressive growth portfolio, the AfroEconomics growth portfolio. But I can know that the people in that session have signed a financial planning agreement or signed an investment advisory agreement, that they understand that we're talking about some serious stuff. Like today, it's just generic stuff. But when we get into restricted assets, access to these types of webinars, I want you to be a member, and I want you to have signed to be on board to receive financial advice from me, and that you understand that a lot of things that we talk about are not going to be specifically for you when it comes into investment options. But when we meet individually, we're talking about what is best for you. Because within a few months, you're going to be able to go straight through AfroEconomics and set up your brokerage accounts as well. So it's all, going to be online. And also always know that the best way, I think, is, when you can, to always sit down with an advisor. I love the one-on-one, and the membership of AfroEconomics is about a one-on-one meeting. So no matter where you are, we can do a one-on-one via the internet. If this is good for you, we could do a one-on-one in person. We could do a one-on-one via telephone call. But whatever is good for you, you do get for at least 4 hours of my time through just the membership. So that's a blessing. I encourage, and we go out of our way. My executive assistant is making a serious point to make sure that everybody is taking full advantage of their membership and the privileges that come with it. So we want to continue to know that AfroEconomics is committed to teaching you specifics about stocks and bonds and mutual funds and investment options that are out there for you now. We want to study taxation, inflation, and Social Security, extensively. I want you to list the retirement account options that you have available to you in the workbook. What are different types of insurance that are available? What are different types of insurances that you have? And do you have any new financial priorities since you just started thinking about this? Have I brought up something that is of interest to you? Then make sure. I know you don't have the workbook right in front of you, but some of you might, so if you have it. So, but just write down, make notes to yourself. So I love this. What are a few key tax planning tips that you would like for me to share with you? Like last week, I think that all of you should go back and look at the video on why I love the 1040 form. I've had a lot of feedback on that it really helps. So, and make sure that you're in touch with your debts and the interest rates that you have. And the fifth principle of AfroEconomics is integrity. Yes, there are, do you believe, true or false, that there are no shortcuts, so do it right the first time. And that is true all day long. And the sixth principle of review and accountability, you would be amazed how many times I run into people who have not checked out their financial statements lately. Like they haven't, I'm going to do, I'm wondering how this will come up, but I'm going to ask you a question. Ooh, says this is financial statements. I'm making a quote because I wanted you to tell me that. Do you look at your financial statements regularly? Let's see. And then I guess that's just a yes. I don't know. So many people that tell me like that I don't know. I hope you all can see that. I'm not sure. But I know. I'm gonna have to go and then launch it for you. Look at y'all. Hi on Facebook. Thank you. The launch poll. Let's see if it did. I don't know. Well, so much for the poll, but make sure you make a comment, do it in the chat, and answer my question. Do you look at your financial statements regularly, and make sure that you keep them in a very organized place? I suggested you don't have to look at your accounts like every day, but you should be definitely that this is a time where my clients are getting their first quarter statements. They should be in an organized place, and we're set up to do quarterly meetings like many of my clients are. Make sure that you come to the meeting, make sure that we do a call to discuss it. If you have any questions, your work statements, it's a good time for Latika Lee says, hey JB, you're doing a great job. Everything is looking good. Oh, thank you, Latika. I saw her last night at the cable station. She is all around town. So and she is really just an extremely helpful person. She does a lot of marketing and everything, has her own business. That's Latika Lee, give her a little commercial. But so organize all of your financial statements, definitely, and keep them in a really good place so that if something were to happen to you right now, would your family be able to, access things so that they could take care of your bills? Would they know where your retirement accounts are? Would they have my number? Would they know who your financial advisor is? So organize all of your financial statements. And this section is really helpful. It says, my fifth point is to protect your business. Like, how do you protect your business? If you're a business owner, do you have the proper insurances that are available for you? So I have a seventh, watch out for dream killers. Something. I guess that is part of check yourself, right? The but dream killers really comes into play when you're talking about the seventh principle of the fearless entrepreneur and entrepreneurship. That is someone a dream killer, or are they actually, giving you some valid advice that we have to consider? But I know when I first started my business, anybody that wasn't cooperating was a dream killer because I was determined. But I'm gonna tell you, when you're determined like that, we have to deal with the consequences of our behavior, because everybody ain't gonna be down with all the sacrificing that is required in order to build a business. It takes a lot. So what about, it says, I have here that I believe the key to entrepreneurship is being fearless. The reason people don't follow their dream of starting their own business is often because of some fear that they have. So AfroEconomics is a great way of reducing the fears, because it's going to make sure that you get all your fundamentals straight before you start the business. So if there are things that need to be paid off, or things that need to be done, or some organization or some certifications or some licenses or something, that as you're becoming a more disciplined person and getting involved in the principles of Afroeconomics and living in integrity is going to help reduce the fears, because you're going to know that you got all these things right. Check out each of the principles has a DINKRA symbol that goes along with it. So I like to see it up there, and I hope that you will. There's in the table of contents, and it explains the meaning of each symbol. And I have the West African name, and I don't say that West African name because I don't want to mess up, like me wearing woe. That it's that one's kind of safe, but the one before that, I was gonna mess with it. But this is a principle of having credit confidence and building your credit. And so in this section, the eighth principle of Afroeconomics, when we're going back to the basics, and especially as a member, that usually involves us just looking at your credit report and figuring out what are we going to do, what are we going to take care of first, how are we going to get these things knocked out. And things happen in life, but we have to take the time for to get the things organized so that you can get the things straight. If we just ignore it, like I did a section on a morning show a couple of months ago now, and I was talking about that $1.1 billion of Social Security payments have been taken to pay back school loans. So we have to, so these are people in their retirement that are losing their retirement income because of school loans, and many of them have not even gotten to the point of paying back principal. They're just paying back interest and penalties. $1.1 billion has already been collected. So we need to make sure that you check out any errors on the credit reports now while you're still working. If you're retired and you're running into that issue, definitely talk to me about it. Stabilize your credit profile. I mean, this workbook, is only as good as you make it, basically, as, very little to do with, me, because I'm an investment advisor, I'm a financial advisor, I'm not, I've written a book now, but this book is about this, especially this workbook, is about the grind that you put in it. It's only as good as you make it, not, oh, this is fabulous words, what a nice sentence, it's not about that. It's about just giving you a structured place, like, do you even know your credit score? Do you monitor your credit regularly? Or are you doing these things? So that's what it's about. Just you. I'm making sure that you're taking advantage of these things. That you can see my mouse now. So before getting married, check on your fiance's credit. Bankruptcy is not the best solution, but it's an option. You know, be wary of low interest credit card offers in the mail. Just like, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do it. It just means that you got to look farther, learn everything you can about identity theft, and protect yourself. You know, we are not our things. You are not the items that you accumulate. You're not. We're so much more than that. You know, and move forward by establishing better daily financial habits. And so move on. So let's keep it moving, y'all. So then I am closing with determination and discipline. And the ninth principle of AfroEconomics is your determination. I want to make sure that, and then 9, and then determination, you know. And the final principle of AfroEconomics is Black health and Black wealth. So we're going to make sure that you focus on each of the fundamental thoughts that even down to number 10, that it is very expensive when you do not have your financial house in order. People who have a bad credit score are more likely to have heart disease. Isn't that scary? You know, I was looking at some research on that, and there's a correlation between that. So there's going to be a point where insurance companies are not even going to have to, you know, check your health, because they're already looking at your motor vehicle record, you know, as a way to assess your life expectancy. So they're going to move to check your health through your credit score. You know, they ask things on a life insurance policy, things like, have you filed bankruptcy and things like that. So, you know, definitely your financial issues are affecting your health. So we want to make sure that we protect ourselves, protect our loved ones. You know, look at the symbols before you leave me. Look at the first one, the symbol, the Sankofa, the symbol of learning from and reflecting on the past. You know, look at this. Number 4, Maten Masi. I don't know, what I hear, I keep. That's the bottom line. What it means, a symbol of wisdom, knowledge, and prudence. That knowledge is important. But all of this was here before we got here. All of these are principles that were set for us through our legacy that was developed before we got here. I just want AfroEconomics to bring our history into our lifestyles that we have today. So the symbol of AfroEconomics is also a West African symbol, the morning star and the wheel, the symbol of transformation and independence, so that you know that you always can move your life forward, that you always can progress. So before you leave me, I know that everybody that's in the chat room too, I know that it's you're as new as I am as far as like leaving your chat, but as you know, I am the one who is going to stick it out. Like, so I know that this is a good idea. I know that God brought this to us for a reason. And I'm thankful for a format and a way to bring this information to you, because I think that everything that we do, you know, it is impacting, you know, somebody, somewhere all the time. So I'm going to try one more time to say goodbye to those of you in Facebook, you're live, thank you. And it's not show me, but I hope that everything held out on Facebook, and I appreciate you. Make sure you email me at jb@jbbryan.com, and for being one of the first participants in my webinar simulcast with Facebook. You can get a free workbook, the workbook that we were discussing today. So email me at jb@afroeconomics.com so that we can, you know, definitely keep in touch. And I will email and we'll email back to you immediately. So let me know that if you have any questions, you have any ideas, anything we could do to make our webinars even more progressive, and take advantage of the free workbook that will be sent out to you. And hopefully next week we'll do more talking about the AfroEconomics Legacy Edition. And this is the actual book that is available to you also. So remember, April 22nd in DC, AfroEconomics with J.B. Bryan, Money, Power, Respect. Have a wonderfully blessed day. My number is 1-844-JB Bryan. Don't hesitate to call or email jb@afroeconomics.com or jb@jbbryan.com. Many blessings. Stay positive. Talk to you soon.